Hi, Genesis Eeks here, your guide to help you grow and develop your leadership skills because leadership is a journey, it's not a destination. Today's practical tip to help you grow is you have to know your team in order to engage, grow, and develop it. And one of the best things that I've found to help shortcut that process is through the use of assessments. Let me explain. What I learned early on is that oftentimes my first impression on how someone should be developed or engaged or communicated to or even positioned within a team might not always be accurate. When my son was younger, he loved to play. He played a lot of football. He is a natural born athlete. He actually just loved to play any sport, but football was a huge passion area for him. And he was built very tall and long in his body shape, and which would kind of have him well suited to be a tight end or wide receiver, one of those kinds of positions. But what I didn't know is that he hated playing out in space. He hated playing out in those end positions and would often get lost out there. So after a little bit of time on the field, a little bit of time in practice, the coach that he was working with started moving him inside the offensive line little bit at a time, doing some testing, doing some assessment along the way until he found a home in the center position. Now, if it had been up to me, he probably would have been out in that wide receiver role, something like that. But what I didn't know is that my son's internal motivation kicked in when he was hemmed in on either side by teammates, when he was face to face with the opposition in the fight, if you will, every single play. And he came alive when he had the responsibility of touching the ball every single play. Now, if that coach had continued to develop him as a receiver or a tight end, he would have never hit his stride and actually been able to contribute the best of himself to that team. For me, one of the best ways that I've found to get to know the people that I'm leading so that I can develop them in the way that works best for them is by using an assessment like a DISC in behavioral indicator report. Now, just like putting an athlete through some tests, through doing some practice drills and watching and assessing behavior and looking to see what they are best at, a DISC behavioral indicator report gives invaluable information to me and to the other person on what working environment is best for them. How do they like to be communicated best? How are they how are they wired so that their strengths can come to the surface more often? Where can they be best positioned within a team so that they can thrive and come alive and add the most value? So my question to you is, what kinds of assessments or processes are you using to get to know your team? Now, as a certified DISC consultant, I can help you and your team be able to get to know each other on a deeper level so that you can develop them in ways that are best for them. If you reach out to me today, I'd be happy to set up a complimentary consultation because everybody deserves to be led well.